Hello everyone, welcome to the 101% podcast where we talk about mindset, motivation, discipline, how to always push yourself, how to become a beast and how to defeat struggle. This podcast will help you to get a better life, that's 101% for sure. I'm your host Joakim and together with me is the co-host and my sister Annika. Welcome to this podcast. Hello again. New year is just started. So this episode is about enjoying the little things in life. In this episode we will talk about the best wake up I ever had in the morning. A story from where Joakim ran in Pattaya, a special experience picking up my daughter in kindergarten, some stories from Annika. Let's get started.
Hello Joakim, this is the first episode of 2025.
Yes.
How are you crushing this year so far?
I reached all of my goals already, so I start planning for the 2026 now. No, I'm joking.
You're a fast worker.
Fast worker. No, it's great. I always feel good when you start a new year. I think you start on what you call blank pages again.
Yeah.
It's always this. You throw away the bad things, take the good things into the new year. So I always is very happy when we start a new year because you have a new opportunity. How about you, Annika? How is you done in this new year?
I feel the same way. I have always for many years felt that I can start on March 17th or September 28th or whenever. I don't feel like resolutions only have to be in the beginning from 1st of January. But it is a good boost. Like it is easier to work on putting down the goals now as one year is over and a new chapter starts. So I'm very motivated for this year coming, and I hope that all of our listeners are as well. I hope that you are hyped for this year and that you already have written down your goals in a way that we have talked about before. I am this and this, as you have already achieved it, because that activates the good energy in your mind.
Absolutely.
And today we're going to talk about enjoying the little things in life. And this is something that me and you have talked a lot about, that our mother has taught us many years ago, to appreciate the small things in life, to create good moments, and to just be present.
Yeah, we have to give you a little bit credit for about this one.
Yes.
yeah. No, a great lesson for she. Yeah? She have learned us that we have to take care for the small good moment and hunt for them. And that's so much more joy in life, yeah. Small things can make great happiness in your life.
Definitely. And she's very good at, she always brings the vibe. She always turns on the light switch when she walks into a room. And she's very good in creating that atmosphere, lighting candles, bringing something nice. Like she always creates the atmosphere more nice when she's in the room. And that is something we all could learn from. And also, as you say, to go and hunt for those good experiences. Why not bring your sandwich outside and sit outside under the stars when you're eating your evening food? Why inside in front of the TV? That isn't going to give you such a nice moment. So hunt for those, create those.
Absolutely. It's a great to take off the coffee, as you say, and you get so much more out of it. Just a small thing like this, yeah? Mm-hmm. Instead of sitting in the sofa, just take it outside and enjoy the nature, yeah?
Definitely. And today we're going to take our listeners back to some of the really nice moments that we've had. And this isn't the big things, the big achievements or journeys or stuff, but these are the small everyday things that has just impacted us a lot and really warmed our hearts and stuck with us for many years. So I'm very excited to just lean back and listen to some of your stories, Joakim, that you would like to share with us.
So great to hear. I have some good ones. It was a story about the best wake up I ever had in my life. No, guys, it's not what you think. It was not like that. It was around 11 years ago. Me and my daughter have just buy an apartment in the island I came from, and we just moved in there. And she was around 2.5 years. And she went sleeping in the nighttime in her room. It was late before I did go sleep, Sleep very bad that night. A lot of thinking. Anything I did worry about. So I didn't sleep so well that night. But finally, after many hours in the bed, I finally get to sleep. And next morning, actually did happen something amazing. After a bad night sleeping, I just wake up and I open my eyes, and then I look right on my daughters, and she was just lying in the bed there, look at me and smile, so smiling when she see me, and I just wake up my eyes, and I think, wow, so amazing. She just lie and look at me and smile and was so happy. It was the best way I ever have wake up in my life. So happy she was. And it was so great to wake up. And I take she and hug with she and joke with she and we laugh together. So that was an amazing morning. So happy she was. And that's just the small moments I never gonna forget. And I think often about this one. And that's make me think I would like to try to be as good father as I can. And I would like she to smile and be so happy as she could in her life. So that was so great. So is it someone you maybe have think about long time? So maybe you can call, tell them you miss them, you appreciate them, and someone you can tell, I love you, love you. Hope everything is going great for you.
That is so awesome. And you went to bed with a lot of worries and you had just moved, you were stressed, all of these things. But your daughter was probably just extremely happy. You and her moved in together alone, and she woke up and she was just smiling, feeling so satisfied. And that made your mentality switch a bit because you saw how happy she was.
Absolutely, she make my day.
Mm-hmm.
Already 2 seconds after I wake up, she already made my day.
That is so awesome. And it's so good that you capture these wonderful moments because this was a morning 11 years ago, but you remember it because it really warmed your heart.
Yeah, it did. So you, Annika, did you have some great moments you can tell us about?
A few years ago, I started realizing that I have so many good memories, moments, big achievements, but also small achievements or small moments that has just been very good, where I felt so safe and at peace and satisfied and happy, like truly happy. And then I started thinking to myself, but I need to create as many of these as possible. And why is it that you only look back in history and find these moments? I have to start realizing when these are made. So that's what I started doing. So when I was in a nice place, I would just be extra happy. I would just, let's say I was out with my friends, we were sleeping outside in a lavabo or like in a big tent. It was minus 17 degrees Celsius. It was a winter a couple of years ago. It was freezing. We were so cold. But one of my friends, she brought everything we needed of warm clothes and soup that we cooked together at a fireplace. And I remember I was just leaning back and looking at them and looking at this fireplace and thinking, this is so wonderful. This is a moment I'm going to remember forever. And I started doing this with so many things, especially when outside, because it's easier to enjoy the moments when you're outside because of the atmosphere. When we're in the forest or by the ocean. And as soon as I started realizing this is a beautiful moment, this is the creation of a memory, that's when I really started enjoying the small things in life. So the book is filled up with these small moments. But there's one I wanted to point out to you because, as I've talked about a bit before, there has been many dark periods in my life where things has been really rough, just very sad for a long period of time. And it took me many years to call it a depression, but we can use that word now because as I look back, that is probably what it has been. From time to time, I've had those periods of time. And I remember I had one for a really long time. I was extremely burned out. That was the time when I was like being diagnosed with ME, or they were going to find out if I had ME or not. And I didn't. But at this period of time, I was so fatigued and I was so sad. And I was lying on the sofa all the time. And then I made my way to school and then just home and was lying on the sofa. Like I didn't go out and meet anyone or train, or I didn't do anything. And of course that didn't help. So then I started pushing myself. Like I just had to go outside, even if it was just for 5 minutes. Some days I could go for a walk in the forest and it was amazing. And some days I didn't feel like it. I was so fatigued. And at this point of time, my body was aching. I felt like I was fragile, that if someone would just poke me with a feather, I would break because everything, it hurt so bad, my body. So some days I would just take on my winter jacket and sit outside, right outside our house. We had a share. And I would just sit there and look at the trees. It was autumn and starting to get cold, and the sun would come. Or even if it was raining, I would appreciate those raindrops. And even just for 5 minutes, and then I would make my way back inside to the sofa with a blanket and watch a series. But what this started doing was to shift that cycle, that I needed to go out and capture these moments, even if it was just for a couple of minutes, because then the next day I wanted to feel good like that again and again and again. And then the walks got longer, and suddenly I could walk for an hour out in the autumn weather and bring a cup of tea and then sit down and feel, even if it was cold, I loved it. I could feel this warm cup of tea and just enjoy every sip of it, because it tasted a lot better than if I would drink it in the sofa at home in the TV, with the TV. So this period of time when I was in a very dark place, I was just looking for sunshine. I was looking for that ray of light, creating these moments, appreciating it so much, and that started the cycle to create these kind of joyful moments every single day. And step by step by step, I came out of this depression, and I'm very grateful for that.
Great to hear. Did the small steps more and more, and that did take you out of the depression. So that was great.
Yeah, it was, and it became a bit contagious, because when I was only in the sofa, that was all I knew in a way. No new inputs, no new motivation. Everything was so hard. But when I started creating these things, I just started looking for them more and appreciating them more and wanting this more and more. So it's the same thing we talked about many times. The want inside of us, the fire inside of us that wants something else. When we don't feel satisfied, we don't feel happy, then we are looking for something more and creating that and searching for it more and more and more. And that's how we become happy with the way we live our lives.
Yeah, great way to do it. When you do so many things, try to get the most out of it. Just think about when I was in Pattaya this summer. I was out at the bar. I came home around 3-4 o'clock in the night time. Sober. I didn't drink. But I see many other people very drunk. Many can barely walk. And it have been me so many times also. So I'm not gonna say something. But it was not me. Because I was sober. And I just sleep for some hours. And then I wake up next morning. So funny last night. And I went up and I went down to the beach road in Pattaya. And start running. It was so great. The weather was nice, hot sun. I was walking. I see a lot of people sit, talk together, smiling, and many people walk, and some other one running, and you hear a lot of music in many places, and it looked like a lot of people was happy. I was running, get my endorphins, and feel very good, yeah, inside myself. See many Thai ladies, just talking with some Thai ladies, talk Thai with they when I walk, we exchange some words, and it was very funny. So I run all the beach road, and when I was finished, just went inside a 7-Eleven and buy some drinks, and went out, and then I just walk around, look for things, and just enjoy. This was a trip I did run and also walk, but I get so much more out of the trip because I just try to look up and see what really happened and try to get as much out of the trip I can.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you do to squeeze most out of the things you do?
That is a great question, and definitely something that we all need to reflect upon. And we can learn something from this story that you share with us. One thing is that you're back in Thailand, the place you want to be. It is also the place where your life got very troubled, but you're back there in the same environment, but you're making other choices. You're making better choices. And you go out, you wake up so early, you go for a run, you exercise, you give your body the good things, and then you go for a walk, you buy non-alcoholic drinks at the shop. So just to walk slowly, drink, enjoy the taste, look around, like you're creating so many good moments here. And I've asked you several times, how do you stay sober? How did you go back to Pattaya, the place where everything went so wrong, and you stay sober? But I think this is the key. You create these pleasures to your mind. You wake up early, you're not hungover, you enjoy, you feel good, you're sharp in your mindset all the time. And this is so important, to really create these good things and remind yourself how important these small things are.
Absolutely. Make everything more easier when you appreciate those small things and be thankful and grateful that you are sober.
Definitely. And I feel with myself the times when I've reflected mostly about these small things, the small moments, is when I'm traveling. Because it's weird how when I'm home in Norway, life moves in such a fast frequency. It's super busy. I have so many things to do. I'm hard to get a hold of because I have 5, 6 projects all the time. But when I'm traveling, that's when it's easier to sit down at the beach, look out in the ocean, have nothing to do, just be present. And that's also when, as you say, you lift your gaze, you look up, and you see how happy people are. I was walking home from AKA the training one morning with my friend Ali from Egypt. We just finished a morning session and we were going to go back for the next session just half an hour later, but we just wanted to walk a little bit. So we go down the street and this lady waves us in, and she's like, sit down, I have coffee for you. And she gave us like iced coffee, the best pre-workout I've ever had. I think it was a lot of carbs and great taste, and we sit there and enjoy, and she makes us this dessert also for free. She just wants us to enjoy it. And then we sit there and talk, and I look around, and all of a sudden I realize we're inside her garage. Like, this isn't even a cafe or a shop, like, this is a garage. But that's the friendliness and the hospitality, and she's just enjoying, and we are enjoying this small moment. And this is some of the moments that has really stuck with me from that year, because it was just so nice to see the community and those small things that she's creating for us.
Very great. And most likely she didn't have so much money, but she still would like, for every price, she would like to make people happy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so great. So many of the Thais, they like to make people happy. They like to laugh. A lot of good people in Thailand.
Definitely. It is called the Land of Smiles for a reason. It's a very smiling, friendly people that has a lot of hospitality and warm feelings created for you.
Absolutely. Another story that come to my mind, yeah. It was another time I gonna pick up my daughter in the kindergarten. It was I worked at the island many years ago, yeah. And it have been a very stressful day at job. A lot of customers, a lot of stress, and so many things to do, yeah. Run all the day from I came till I went home. So it's been a shit day, yeah. Work on a store. And then after that, I drive and pick up my daughter in the kindergarten. And when I came to the kindergarten, I look for my daughter. Where is she? And suddenly I see she inside some room, and she did turn around and see me. And then she starts smiling, very smiling, and run so quickly against to me and jump and want to up, has to lift she up and hug she. And she was so proud to see me. And she went down, have to take my hand and walk very proud with me, and we're gonna go take some clothes. I was so happy. So good. You are so proud of your dad. I can guarantee you that I will do my best for the rest of my life to keep you be proud of me. Because I know when you're older, it became more difficult, but this gave me super motivation, and I was so happy and so proud of she also. So that made my day. Shit day, but it switched in a second, and it was a great day. So that was also some small moments.
Mm-hmm.
So I was a hero for she. And to you listeners, who do you want to be hero for in your life?
Definitely something we all need to figure out and work to fulfill. Who are you going to impress? Why are they important to impress? Of course, your daughter is on the top of that list because it's the most important job you have in this life. And I think that we have a lot to learn from children because they are so honest and they are also so present. She is in her kindergarten, she's playing, and you come and you mean everything. So she drops everything she have in her hand, and her smile is on all of her face. Like, children often have very big emotions. They're very showing their emotions outside of themselves, you know? And we have a lot to learn from that. Think about the joy she felt when she saw her dad coming in and she runs as fast as she can into your arms. So that is something we need to reflect upon as well.
Yeah, great. Small moments that make big impact on my life.
That is very true. And I think that when I look back on these moments, it is the times when you just did something simple. So there was a time when I was going in high school and I went to bed early. And then I read on the news that it was shooting stars out that night. It was like a meteorite rain, which is very unique and it doesn't come that often. And I was very tired and all of that, but I was just like, okay, let's see. So I woke up to my mother and I tell her something is going on outside in the sky. Let's just go and have a look. So we find all the warmest clothes we have and the blankets, and we made a cup of tea and we just went outside. And I have never seen anything like it ever before because it was like shooting stars, but not only for the blink of a second, but for a long time. So you could like tell her, Mom, look over there. So this was a very unique experience. And one of the only evenings I remember from high school. Like, you don't remember the night you went to bed early and you woke up and you had the same breakfast and you went on the bus. Like, sometimes you need to go out and capture those moments. And we've had a lot of good walks, me and my brother, outside looking at the stars, walking out in the winter. It's cold, but it's so nice. And it keeps your mind so fresh when you're out for a walk at the same time as we meet and have our champ talks. So all of those outside experiences is something that I really remember.
It's great memory, and the conversation became different, yeah, when you're outside. Be more happy, and you walk, you training at the same time, and it became something else. The atmosphere has changed from the sofa.
Definitely. And this kind of got a new era in my life during the COVID time when it was crazy times and it was quarantines and lockdowns and isolations and all of that, you know. But what was so important then was to go outside and enjoy the coffee. So we did that a lot. You and our sister and your daughter was in one house and me and my parents in another house, and we couldn't meet, but we could meet outside with these many meters. And it was a weird time. Man, did it create a lot of nice moments for us where we always sat outside, enjoyed the coffee with fresh wind in our faces. And this really taught us something during that special time.
Absolutely. I think about another time too. Yeah, I like to walk trips, and around 2 weeks ago, I did walk a trip. I work on my business all day, and I feel for I have to go out and clear my mind a little bit. So I went out, and it was light, but it started to become a little bit dark. Yeah, and I wake, and I used to take a prayer every night, yeah. And I take it there and pray, and thanks God for me and my people I love is healthy and everything is good. Think about many things in life, yeah, and also thank Him for and give me strength to go for my dreams and work on this podcast business, yeah, and show me the way. And after that, I start to visualize how my future gonna be, and I see in my mind how my life and my daughter's life gonna be. Start to tunk more in my heart, yeah, because I get excited, and then I stand up in the road here, and then I look out in the ocean, out in the horizon, and the sun is going down. The sky was red, orange, yellow. It was so nice and beautiful. And I look at the ocean with the sunset. I think so many things I want to experience in this life. And I want to take my daughter with me and experience so much with you. And I look out in the ocean and I think, it's so much out there I want to experience. So that was great. And then I keep walking and keep thinking about my life gonna be like this in the future. And it was magic, yeah. It was get a lot of good feelings. So that was great. So I just thought by myself, this is just an ordinary trip, but I get so much more out of this trip just by, thanks God, and also visualize for myself and my daughter and about the future and create my dream life inside my mind. So much more out of just an ordinary trip on 30 minutes. So what do you reflect on when you are walking your trips?
And this is a great thing to do. Many of the things we've talked about in this episode is for free. It is free to go for a walk. It is free to sit by the ocean or on a mountain or in the forest. And it makes your mind think more clearly, more positively, and more strategically. What is important for you to change? What is important for you to fix? What do you value? What do you appreciate?
Do you have some other stories, Annika? You would like to share with us?
I think I just want to encourage all of our listeners to create these moments, create as many of them as possible in 2025. If things are rough, go for a walk, change your environment. Sometimes I've even gone, even if it's cold, I've gone down to the ocean and just taken a swim, even in the winter time, because you shock your body. And that is something that will come more into in another episode of the podcast, because I really believe in the value of ice bathing, because what it really does, it shocks you, but it's also very good, beneficial for your health. So do these kind of things, just break the environment, break the cycle that your mentality is always in. Go outside and create these wonderful moments.
Yeah, because when you start searching for them, you will find them everywhere. It's just to open your eyes and try to find them, because in your life you find what you search for. And when you start to look for them, you become better and better. And then you find them all the times.
That is so true. And something that I've thought a lot about lately, in the end of this year, I've been thinking a lot about how do I want the future to be? What is important for me? And I've been on a journey, a really deep personal development journey this last year. And I've come to the conclusion that the things that I used to value very high before isn't exactly the same things as I value high now. Some of the things are the same, many things has also changed. So reflect upon these things and dig deep into your heart and your mind. What is important for you? What do you value? Are you prioritizing your time on those exact things? Because if there is a gap between who you want to be and what you're doing every day, you won't be as happy as you want to be. It is very important to find that line. Who do you want to be? What is your identity? What are your goals? Are you doing something every day to get closer to them? And most of all, what is making you happy? That is the focus I have now for every day. What do I want to do this day? What is important for me? What are my goals? Am I doing this for myself or for the satisfaction of others? And it's so important to fulfill your own values, your own ambitions. And this is extremely important. So we're going to make another episode talking more specifically only about this topic.
So much good advice, so many things to take in that I cannot handle it anymore, so we have to wrap it up. If you like this episode and feel that it gave you a lot of value, it would have been great if you could share this episode with someone. And if you would like to donate a small donation to help us grow the show, it would have been great. The donation link is on our webpage, the101percentpodcast.com, and also down in the show note of this episode. Today's episode was recorded on December 19, 2024. In the next episode, we will take a look inside Annika's mind. I would like to say Annika's crazy mind, but I cannot do that. Annika's mind. Then you will see how much things happen at the same time. Take care and enjoy the small little things in your life. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram on this podcast account, the 101% podcast. If you like this episode, make sure to share this podcast episode with a friend and review the show on Apple Podcast. Thank you to all the audience for listening. We appreciate you all a lot. Hope that you will come back and listen to our next episode. Until next time, take care and give it your best.